So the Miami Dolphins taking a guy who I think is going to be great for them in Jaelan Phillips, and I love him in this system as well, where they want to, they blitz a good amount, which gets sort of these one-on-one matchups, and now they can have a guy who can be elite off that edge and can win those one-on-one matchups, and this can turn their defense from really good to potentially, great, and if it's great, which it was really good last year, so getting that extra player, I do think there were some improvements. I think they could have used an edge guy, and now they have an edge guy in Jaelan Phillips, and I think that adding him to this roster is just such a win for them. I really like the way this draft has gone for them, where I was a little bit worried they were going to kind of do the thing they did last year, which was reach on a offensive lineman with this pick, which I think would have been not the move here. I mean, they could have gone. There's some guys I still like on the board, but getting, I think, the best player available, which in my opinion is Phillips, I think that we could definitely look back in 10 years and say, how the hell did that guy fall where he fell? The answer is obviously injuries. But once you watch this film study and really watch his tape, you're going to be completely blown away, I think, by what he's done. And again, you could argue, hey, you still got to protect Tua, you got to help out the offensive line. But you know what? Maybe they have something in store in the second round. This is a deep offensive line class, so let's not freak out too much. And again, I think Phillips is so good. And if you want to know why, watch this film study I'm about to show you. So we'll start things off with this play. This is a really good example. Honestly, really what Jaelan Phillips can do is he'll treat some tackles like they're tight ends out there. You'll say, okay, well, one is match up against a tight end. You expect that, and then realize, oh, wait, that's a tackle. That's what's going to happen on this play, where the Louisville right tackle, that's who he's going to be going up against in a one-on-one matchup. And really, what's great about Phillips is his hands and his strength, which those are two things that really translate to the NFL well. What Phillips is going to try and do is get his right arm and kind of grab the tackle's left sort of shoulder pad area and just push him over. That's what Phillips is going to attempt to do here. And watch how right away he just knocks him over and gets through him. So that alone is incredible. That's very impressive. Really good play from Jaelan Phillips. But that's not all he's going to do on this play, because the running back is kind of running over the middle a little bit. So for Phillips, yes, good job. You got past the tackle. But this isn't a passing play. It's a running play. And now you have to try and get over and make the tackle. However, as you see, he can do that as well. He does get over and makes a quick tackle. Just a very impressive play from Jaelan Phillips, and the reality is, I think that's just a taste of what he can do. He is just such an incredible NFL player. We'll now go over and talk about this play. So, that showed off his strength pretty well, showed off his hands. Let's talk about his footwork a little bit, because his footwork, just as good. And those are the main things about being an edge rusher. So what's going to happen on this play is he is going up one-on-one against the right tackle. And the right tackle is going to kind of go out a little bit to try and block him. He's going to just move a little bit to Phillips's. It'd be to the top of the screen, so to Phillips' left. But Phillips is just going to... You can also have something like this, where what's going to happen is it's going to be an option play. So the quarterback runs, but then he's going to pitch it to the halfback. That's what he's going to end up doing right here. And it is going to fool Phillips a little bit right when this play starts. As you see, he steps in a little bit, then gets it over. So it might be a wide receiver who's lined up as a back, but that's irrelevant. He gets it over to the Florida State teammate, and at this point, Phillips is definitely a little bit too far to the outside. But what's good about Phillips is for one thing, he's just a ferocious player. He plays violent. I know he has the injury history. That's concerning. It absolutely is. But he still plays very violent. You wouldn't know he has an injury history watching him on film. And on top of that, he can just run over and he can make a tackle, and it's his footwork and speed, because watch what happens. He does run over, he reaches out, and still helps make this tackle. And honestly, a lot of times you see guys make this kind of plays, and they kind of just get dragged a little bit because, what do? You don't really have any angle or anything. You're just trying to slow the guy down. But, he did a really good job, I think, of making that tackle. Yes, the first down was, achieved on a 3rd and 1, so not ideal, but that's not really his fault, I don't think. He honestly did his job pretty well, and he makes the quick tackle. There was just too big of a hole in the middle for it to work out. You also have something like this, where he's going up one-on-one against a right tackle this time, and he's going to, again, use his hands to try and win. So the way he's going to do it is getting his left hand and kind of just sort of pushing it over to the side of the Virginia right tackle. He's going to go very quickly on this one. Watch. Uses his hands and does use his speed as well, which I've talked about before. guys winning with their speed to me is always a bit concerning just because it doesn't always work in the NFL level, but he doesn't rely on it too much. He can win with speed occasionally. It's not what he relies on. So, pressure, very good job. However, the Virginia quarterback is going to start running right up the middle almost immediately. So, Phillips did his part, got the immediate pressure, just kind of the way the play worked out. It's not going to matter too much, or at least that's what you might think. However, one of the things about Phillips, too, is he's a high motor player. He is going to, give it his all every play. Watch him once again, despite winning the matchup, then run over and he makes this immediate tackle, or not immediate tackle, but makes it as quick as he possibly could have, which a lot of edge rushers, they just don't even have an impact on that play. He ends up making the tackle on that play, which, again, goes to show his talent, I think. And one more play, we'll talk about this one. It's a running play once again. His run game is honestly just as impressive as his pass game. Might be a bit more impressive as his pass game, if we're being completely honest, which is saying something because of how impressive his pass game truly is. But on this play, again, one-on-one matchup, the tackle, it's going to be similar to the running play I showed earlier. The tackle is going to go out to block him a little bit, and then Phillips is going to try to use his hands and try to use his footwork to be a good player. If your biggest concern is an injury history, then if your biggest concern is you're not as strong or something like that. If that's your biggest concern, chances are more often than not that works out, and that's actually how you can kind of get some steals of the draft. I think without the injury history, he's probably, some people would probably put him as, like a top 5 player, to be honest. So I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of his game. I did have him as my second highest graded defensive player, just behind Parsons, so that shows how high I am on him. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Jaelan Phillips, on this draft pick as a whole? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.